Hey y'all, it's Kim from Kim Dixon Creative, and I am here today on the Not Too Shabby YouTube channel sharing a project using the Not Too Shabby stamp set called Pumpkin Spice Everything. I'm also going to be using some of these great paper pads. These are from the Paper Pad of the Month, or the Paper of the Month kit. And I will leave all of these in the description box, a link to everything in the description box below. But as you see, these papers are stunning. This is Autumn Rain that I was thumbing through, and it has some images that you can cut with your Scan and Cut or your Silhouette Pick Scan mat, and or fussy cut. And then the Dots for Fall paper pad is gorgeous as well. I'm going to be making a project using some craft cardstock and some colored pencils. Colored pencils, for me, is kind of a new medium. I've played with them a little bit, and of course I played with them when I was a kid, but I've never really practiced that much with them in my card making. So I've kind of challenged myself that I'm going to do that a little bit more. And so you'll see me make a lot of mistakes, and it won't be great, but I'm still proud of the project that I finished. So I'm using my Ink on 3 blackout ink to stamp my image onto my craft cardstock. I'm using Ink on 3 blackout because it was the closest. I love it, but I interchange between that and VersaFine Clair when I'm not using alcohol markers. So one of the techniques that I saw used a white pencil on craft cardstock to color in the image first, and then you go back over it with your color. I think the problem for me that I had with this is that I used too heavy of a hand on the white to start with, so that when I went in with my orange, I couldn't add any shading at all. When I would go up into the corners to try to add more color, it just wouldn't lay down. And I know that's one thing that you have a problem with, or potentially have a problem with, when using colored pencils. If you lay too much down, you get it too waxy of a finish, and then you can't put any other color on top. So that's probably part of my problem. And so, you'll see me, I go through this and I try my best to add some shading, and it's just not going to do it. I even go back in with a white to try to add a highlight in the center, and nothing. So I think that's what happened there. So I'm coloring up the brown stem and my little acorn at the bottom now. And I'm not crazy about the brown that I use. I find a darker brown and use it. But for the rest of the card, I'm not going to lay down that white first. I'm going to color straight onto the craft cardstock. But I'm trying so hard to put more color down, and it just won't go. So right here is where I kind of start getting the idea of, hey, you're putting too much down. And so I'm able to go back in and add a white highlight in the center, and that helps me get a little bit more depth with the color pencils. I have used Gamsol in the past and really not had a whole lot of success with it, so that's why I'm not using that here. I have blending stumps, but I've just, I don't know, I've just never had great success with it. So I took some of my colors and I tried to blend my leaf there in 3 different colors, or 4 different colors, like I would see them on my tree. This time of year, they're still going to have a little green on them here in Alabama. So I'm cutting this panel down now to 3 3/4 by 5, because I want to, I would like to layer that on top of some of the pretty pattern paper in the Dots for Fall. the teal page really caught my eye, and that's one of the reasons why my little cupcake wrapper is colored the way it is, so that I can use that teal polka dot paper right there. I just think that is so pretty. I love teal in the fall. Um, I mean, show me a teal pumpkin and you've got me. So I'm cutting this panel down to 4 by 5 1/4. So it'll go back behind my craft cardstock little panel there that I've colored. So I decide now that I want to add a sentiment, and here's another place I messed up. I don't know why I didn't move that magnet. It was in the way. I want to stamp warm hugs, and I want it to nestle right above my image. And I thought it was, but it wasn't, because that magnet was hiding a blank spot that I thought there was actual image there. And even when I move my magnet and see it, I just bulldoze right on through and stamp it in the wrong place. But I'm going to do some things to kind of fix it a little bit in just a minute. But I am using, as my colored ink, I'm using Simon Hurley's inks. And that was Traffic Cone. And here I just took the little dot stamp that was in that stamp set. And I'm just using different colors of the ink, and going in and adding a little bit of texture in the background, and that'll kind of help cover up the fact that I got that sentiment too high. You'll see that I started coloring the image one time and I didn't like what was happening, so I turned the page over and started again, because that's what we do. Not going to waste that piece of cardstock. There's two sides. So here I am. I'm going to try to use my grid mat there to line up my cardstock. And I'm terrible at that. I do better just to hold it up and look at it. So make sure I get it somewhat straight. And then make sure that my glue is adhered down well. I don't put a lot of dimension in this card, which is unusual for me. But I'm just going to glue that panel straight down onto a portrait A2 top folding card. And it's this same cardstock that I use to color my images. It's just a craft cardstock. It's from my stash. I've had it for a long time. I don't even know where it came from. So I'm going to decorate the inside of my card a little bit. I had this little strip left from when I cut my polka dot panel, and couldn't quite decide how I wanted to do the end of it. I first thought I wanted to just angle the end, and then I decided I wanted to banner cut the end. And I'm sure that most of you guys know how to do the flag end, but you cut up through the center just a little ways, and then you go to each corner and cut up toward to the point of that slit that you cut, and it makes it much easier to cut that little flag end. Then I'm going to take the stamp that I used on the front, the same image, and I'm just going to stamp it in a color on the inside bottom corner of my card, just to bring the inside or the outside to the inside. So I've got my little teal polka dots. I did use the smaller side of the polka dots than what I used on the front. And then I'm going to have my image there in the bottom corner. I'm going to use Simon Hurley's ink in Woof. These are new inks to me, and so I have them sitting on my desk to remind me to use them so I can learn more about them and how they work, and get used to using them. I've had them for a little while and have not had time to actually use them much, so I was glad to have this project to use them with. And here's my card. I am so happy that you've decided to spend some time with me today. All of the items that I used that are available in the shop will be linked below, and there just might be possibly a discount code down there as well. And so I really hope that you go over to the shop and check out all the great things that Jamie has there. Not only does she have great products in the Not Too Shabby line, but she also carries other great manufacturers that you're going to find something that you love over there. So head on over to the shop, check it out. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. Here's a couple of videos coming up on the next slide that will maybe inspire you as well. Until the next video, bye.